Okay guys, so I finally know how to take out the alternator belt. I finally find a way, which I've never done it before when I rebuild my engine, because like I say, I didn't install the alternator back again, and I didn't want to upgrade the alternator because the alternator seems fine, even though, as you guys know, my alternator does have like oil leaks around it. It's because of my engine oil leaks. Like I told you guys, after I rebuild the engine, the oil has been leaking around here. Um, so once I'm here, I'm telling you this too. Okay, I find out. I know what's causing my oil leaks is because the street mechanic, when he installed it, when they install the timing components, the timing belts and all that, and then after that they installed the timing cover. They forgot to install the timing cover gasket seal. That's what happened. That's what's causing the leak. Remember, I made some videos. I made other videos. I mentioned what's causing the leak and all that. And I was thinking that, I thought it was like the front main seal or the rear main seal, or whatever, or the oil pump or whatever. Yes, all those gas is wrong. And I even think it was around the oil pan gasket. Remember, because the oil was leaking from inside there, and inside there is the timing belt cover. Okay, it's the timing cover, and that's where it's leaking out from. So to what I know is, I didn't give them, or I didn't buy them. I did remember to buy it, but I didn't. I forgot to buy the timing cover seal gasket back in the day, and I took them all out and I throw the old one away, but I forgot to order the new one to give it to them to replace it. And they installed the cover, they installed the timing belt cover on, and they didn't even tell me about that at all, guys. Now that's street mechanic, okay? Don't ever let street mechanic to do that job for you. I have to let them do it because I have no choice. I have no time. I was out, like I couldn't even finish my engine at that time, so I had to hire someone to finish it up. So yes, I did not completely finish rebuilding my engine back then. I let them do the timing belt parts, which is wrong. I should never do that because they didn't tell me that I need the timing belt gasket. The timing belt cover gasket. They should have tell me, and I forgot about that too, which is my responsibility. I should have tell them about it. I should have ordered the gasket and give it to them all at once, with all the kits and all that. It's nothing. It's not like a kit or anything like the rebuild kits or whatever, because that's another person. Another person does that. They didn't do anything with the kits. All they do is just put the just put the part together, like finish up putting the engine back into the car. That's about it. But they do have to do something with the oil pan and the timing, all that. I did the oil pump and I did the water pump by myself, which is great. Nothing leaks about that. But they forgot to install the timing gasket, the timing cover gasket when they installed the timing cover onto the engine after they finish do the timing and all that. So yes, now I really think that's the problem. I find out is that there's no timing cover gasket installed on my engine. That's why there's a leak, and I'm positive 99% that's where the leak's coming from. Okay, and I'm gonna stop talking about that because I might have to make a video mentioning about this leak thing at another video, like talking about like rebuilding or finish rebuilding or whatever. But since I'm here, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. So I'm gonna move on and back to talking about the replacing the alternator belt and the power steering belt. Okay, now as you guys notice, when I'm down here trying to install uninstall the alternator belt. It's pretty hard because I didn't install the alternator on, so I didn't really know how to, unbolt and bolt and adjustable, using the adjustable bolts on the alternator, so I can loosen the belt. I had to find out by myself, like just today, is on the alternator on my engine. You see that? There's actually 3 bolts altogether. Okay, I'm not including any brackets bolt. Like, this is the alternator brackets bolts. It has like about 3 bolts that's going to the engine, and then the last bolt right there is connect to the alternator. That's about it. That's the big bolt right there. That's the hard bolt. Okay, this bolt right here is to hold the alternator from the bottom. Okay, so that's one big bolt down there, and the alternator have 3 bolts all together. So the other 2 bolts is on the top here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it, but okay, that bolt right there is the number 2 bolt, and there's another adjustable bolt like this, and it's behind here. Okay, I don't think you guys can see it. Let me get a little camera, a little lights here so you guys can see it. Hold on, guys, let me get the camera, the lights, because I really want you guys to see this too, to understand. Okay, so all right, see that? That's one bolt on the top, and there's another bolt. That's the adjustable bolt. That's like on the side. You see that? On the side of the black brackets back here. You see that bolt right there? The adjustment bolt is facing this way. Okay, facing toward the engine. You see that? It's sticking out a little bit right there on the end. See that? It's behind the black brackets. Yes, that brackets is the alternator brackets that's holding the alternator on the top. Okay, so there's 2 bolts on the top. It's like a crisscross bolt. One bolt go this way, which is that one right there, and the adjustable bolt is that one. Okay, now yesterday I moved the adjustable bolt and nothing happened, no movement or anything. So I had to loosen this bolt over here, that bolt right there. After I losing that bolt, nothing move either, nothing happens. So I think it was like stiffing. And then I went down and removed the bigger bolts. I went down and removed that, losing that big bolts. And after I removed it, and that's a 15 millimeter socket bolt, okay, if you guys don't know. And up here is like a 13 and a 12, okay? I think that's a 13 and the other one is a 12. So after I losing the adjustable bolts and the other bolts on the top, it won't move because I think it was like sticking from the residue or the oil. So then I was kind of banging with the hammer or whatever. It's still not moving. So I figure I need to go down here and remove, losing these bolts. Don't remove it, okay? Because if you remove it, the alternator might drop down, okay? But the alternator will not drop down unless you remove all of the bolts, like this bolt down here and the other 2 bolts on the top. Okay, that's only if you're replacing the alternator. So now I know how to replace the alternator. Is you have to remove all 3 bolts. And if you want to change the belt, you will have to remove, like, losing this bolt down here too. Okay, you have to loosen that big bolt right there after you losing the other 2 bolts from top. Okay, then the alternator will be losing. Then the alternator will move back and forth from the other bolts on the top. Yeah, I don't know why, but after I kind of lose this bolt, then the alternator, it moves back and forth like this. So now the alternator is moving back and forth using that adjustable bolts on the top. Then the belt is losing. Okay, now you see how loose the belt now? See, when I pull it, the alternator moves back and forth. You see that? That's indicate that I can replace the alternator belt easily right now. You see how easy it comes off? Yeah, I can just take the I can just take the alternator belt off easily right now and replace the new one in a minute, okay? But I just want to let you guys know, right now it's losing. That's why it's easy to take out the belts. But when it was like sticky and tacky, it's really hard. Even though I got the alternator move back and forth just a little bit, but the belt won't come off because it wasn't loose enough, okay? The alternator wasn't like, the adjustable bolt need to be screwed out like a lot, okay? So, but you don't want to screw the alternator adjustable bolts from back here. Where's the light at? Okay, there it is. You don't want to move, you don't want to losing, where's that bolt at? Okay, you don't want to losing this bolt back here too much, okay? Because if you do, you're gonna have a hard time putting it back on. Also, with this nuts right there, this bolts or whatever you call it, bolts or nuts, I call it bolts and nuts. See that? Both of these nuts and bolts on the top, you don't want to remove it all the way out because you're gonna have a hard time putting it back on. Right now, it's kind of like it's still together, like one sticking this way and one sticking that way, and it's still like, you know, it's still like together, okay? Because it's had like a little piece in the middle, a little metal piece, round piece in the middle that holds two bolts together, okay? So I didn't lose it all the way out. I just lose it a lot so I can move the alternator between the brackets. I can move it around the brackets, you know? So that way, when I know I move the alternator much more, then it's just easy to take out the belts. At this point, this time, it's really losing. Like, I can take out the belt really easy, okay? So I'm gonna do that in a minute. Changing, well, I'm gonna clean first, clean around the alternator, clean all the oil and all that residue. And then I can't really clean and do much with the inside of the oil pump and the timing belt cover, but I'm gonna try my best. But I can't really clean inside of that unless I take all this out. But that's gonna be another work because that oil leak is from the timing cover, okay? So after I clean all this, installing the new alternator belt that I got from AutoZone, okay? And then after I finish install the alternator belts, I go ahead and clean the groove on the power steering belts and installing the timing, the power steering belt, the new power steering belt that I bought from AutoZone yesterday, and just install it like that. The power steering belt is pretty easy, guys. It's easy as hell. It's easier than installing, working on your alternator belt. And I just got this power steering belt yesterday. I traded in because the other belt that got me is too short, and the guy at AutoZone was able to find me the right size. So I went home and tested, and it fits. Okay, so I just traded off yesterday. This belt is like $20. And the return belt that I returned to him, it was like $10. So he was able to do a different for me. Matter of fact, he gave me a $10 discount because this belt is $20. So I just need to pay $10, and then I return the other belt, which is $10, going back to my credit. So technically, you know, he gave me a $10 off. I mean, it was pretty cool. Thanks a lot for him for doing that for me. His name is like Don or Donate or something. At Arizona, nearby where I stay. But it was supposed to be $20. Yeah, he gave me a $10 off. Just the same cost like the other belt that I returned. Because they trying to do me a big favor there. Okay, guys. Anyway, so that's it for, you know, what I'm trying to tell you guys here is I'm gonna change the alternator belt and then work on changing the power steering belt. All the belts gonna be new, and that's all I want to say about this. So now you guys know how to, you know how to uninstall and install the alternator belt. It's just that 3 bolts. You got to loosen it out. That's it. But don't you loosen all the way out because, you know, that's only if you want to replace the alternator. Then you will loosen all 3 bolts out, okay? But to changing it, don't lose it all out. Just loosen it where you can have place so the alternator can move back and forth. So the alternator belt will be losing and you can replace it. That's it. So I'm gonna come back and make a video after this, after I finish replacing the alternator and all that. It might be tonight, but I might have to make the video by tomorrow or so. And then I'm gonna work my way to. I don't know if I need to replace the spark plug or not, because I remember I replaced it new before. But if not, I'm gonna have to clean around down there a little bit. And I already did the oil change the other week, and my air filter is new. It looks new, so I don't need to buy a new one or whatever. And what else? I got new oil already. Oh yeah, about the leak thing. Um, right now it's summertime, so I'm not using 5W30 oil. I'm using 1030, which is thicker and it's better. Because summertime, when you use thinner oil, it leaks a lot. Like for my car only, okay? Because I have a leaks. So I changed to 1030, and it's it's thicker, so it don't leaks a lot like before. And it's summertime, so that's why I changed to 1030, so it'll be thicker and I can start it easily. Well, you can start it easily with the thin oil, but the thick oil, if I use 1030 wintertime, it's so thick that it's harder to start it on. I've been having a starting problem too, and I was thinking because the click might be the starter click. That's why my car is having a hard time starting like lately. I don't think it's the oil problem though, but I'm thinking about replacing my starter soon, real soon, because the starter is a stock old starter, and it's like $100 or so. So I'm gonna have to check on that too. Go to AutoZone, have them check it, and then oh yeah, another thing is my low beam headlight gone out, so I have to go to I gotta go online, eBay or something, and order a kit of a headlight bolts. It could be, I think I'm gonna order like super white or cool or something like that. 6,000K or 7,000K. I don't want to go to 8,000K on the headlight. That's gonna be like illegal. Okay, go to around 6,000 to 75,000. That's the maximum. Okay, I think 6,000 and 65,000 is like more of an amber looking lights, like yellowish. But when you come to like 7,000 or so, it become whiter and brighter. Okay, 7,000 is gonna be brighter, like super cool white. It's gonna be brighter. 7,000, 7K, 7,000K. Okay, guys. So that's it for this talk here, and see what else I need to cover. Um, I'm going to change my radiator coolant real soon, because it's gonna be it's summertime. I'm supposed to change the coolant for summer already, but I just have too many things going on, and I need to clean this reservoir bottle. It's like dirty inside. Like, I mean, my goodness. Before, when I changed the coolant before, I already cleaned this bottle. It was clean and all that inside. Now it's like gooey mess. My goodness. All right. Well, that's it for the talk now, guys, and I'll see you in the next one when I'm finished doing all this tune up, and I'll update it more video after this. Okay.